So welcome to the Los Angeles International Fern Society annual show and sale. You can hear parrots overhead. We've also got peacocks occasionally screaming here. We've got the auction going on. And here is the Epiphyllum Society booth. We have a sales booth this year. Did you win? Oh.
There's no names on it.
Living in the dirt, and they help break down the nutrients.
And here we have all our bags of cuttings.
Through the roots, because the roots don't really have mouths.
These we have pictures for
Somehow
this
it
particular
transfers
varieties.
through, right? So
Yeah, we have
the
our
theory
display
would
of
be
flowers from the
that
Pentaco.
organic fertilizer, but it's more expensive and needs to be used more often. But you can also
Don't forget to become a member of the Epiphyllum Society of America and learn how to grow these beautiful, beautiful cactus flowers. Here we are well into June. We've still got quite a few blooms.
plants that were related to each other to get the colors.
And they do supposed to bloom early in the morning and then close up in the late morning, right?
Well, no, the whole point of these being the hybrids is they're supposed to stay open for about 4 days. You'll get good 2 days, and if it's super hot, you'll get the first day.
So our flowers are doing well here. Most of these have been open for 2 days. They're looking really nice.
Lasting a long time.
Lasting a long time. We've had cool weather. This has been open for 2 days, not just open, but off the plant, and open for 2 days, 2 days, 2 days, 2 days. That's also a 2-day flower. Believe it or not.
But these are in the family, and they can interbreed. The pollen of one's a lower middle number. And then in December...
And here we have a beautiful eucalyptus rainbow gum. Look at the beautiful bark on this tree. Absolutely spectacular, all different colors. I guess that's why it's called rainbow. And this particular tree is huge. It's got to be 5 feet across, 6 feet across. Here we have a couple of the vendors. We've got a lot of succulent type plants.
Don't do it just
Look at this.
No, I mean, I love my job.
It's a beautiful thing.
Like, who else pays 66-year-old man?
Of course, we've got the Arboretum peacock here. Hi, sweetheart. How are you? And here we have Becky with thegoodgarden.com. Got a lot of neat plants here.
Morning.
This is the auction area for the silent auction. We've got a lot of giveaway things here. Pallets of soil. Here we're getting ready for the first auction. They're even auctioning books, some planters, various little plants here. So it's a nice little auction. And they've also have things for sale. Neoregelia,
Find something that grows inside, or it grows outside.
Right.
It's sure
Staghorn ferns.
I'm sure she doesn't enjoy
I
it.
have I have nothing inside in the house.
These are beautiful.
She gets so upset with me when I bring a hose into water.
We've got Hoyas over here.
The only thing we have in the house is
Staghorn ferns.
African violets that I let her that she grows, and then I will have periodic Phalaenopsis orchids.
There's some larger bromeliads.
They'll get moved outside, and for me because they'll do okay.
Then the Fern Society has their own sales area here where they have all different kind of ferns.
Well, what was the total? Was this 584
Take a quick spin through here.
Yeah.
Hoyas, more Hoyas. Various tropical plants.
I like those. And then we got the variegated one down there.
Of course, we have lots of ferns here.
Oh, this here?
This is pretty cool. I don't know what this is, but I like it. They call it a hurricane plant. It must be a fern of some sort. If somebody knows what it is, let me know in the comments because I kind of like that.
None of the ferns like sunny or love it.
And here are more ferns. Ferns galore, which you would expect at a Fern Society show. A lot of staghorns here for sale. Look at that one, that's humongous. Another interesting one down there. And of course we've got our, I guess they're tree ferns. I don't know much about ferns personally. I like them, they just don't grow well for me. That is a weeping Australian tree fern. It's very pretty. More ferns over here. This is fern paradise, let me tell you, this weekend. And the Fern Society has their own growing area here at the Arboretum where they can propagate these plants for their annual sale. All right, let's take a look at some more of the vendors. Got some pots and supplies here. Everything you might want for growing your hanging plants. Hanging basket. And we have a few other vendors here. Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning. Oh, look at the orchids. Beautiful. Beautiful. I love orchids. You can hear the peacocks screaming in the background there. Look at this little orchid. So beautiful. Got more ferns, more Hoyas. Every kind of fern you could think of. Here's another vendor with all his Tillandsia. Some cacti. We've even got some epis here. Species. There's Chrysocardium. That was tempting me yesterday. I may buy it today. Ferns. Cacti. There's another one calling my name, another Chrysocardium. A couple more staghorn ferns. All kinds of cool stuff here. Check out that euphorbia. It's really pretty. And we have another vendor here with all kind of houseplants. African violets here.
Good morning.
Hi. Begonias. And I like this vendor's name, Crazy Plant Ladies. Got quite a few propagated plants here, all in perlite. Pretty cool. Hoyas and such. We have a bonsai vendor. All your supplies that you would need. More Hoyas. Look at that beautiful tree. Gosh, that's pretty. Oh, it's actually a daisy. Daisy. Nice.
I love it because of what people pay.
Okay, so good morning. Very cool. A compact pineapple.
Yeah, see the pineapple? on
Yeah,
top?
exactly.
But you
Look at
can't
that.
eat them, they said.
Oh, really? They're just decorative?
Yeah.
Huh. Well, they're very cute.
But that don't make sense because it's the pineapple plant.
You would think. Okay, let's go into the show hall. Past these beautiful plants here, and let's see what's in the hall. Membership booth for the Fern Society. And here's what we see as we enter. There's a lot to see in here. That thing is huge. That is Blatchum Gibbon Silver Lady. Here we've got a terrarium arrangement. Very cool. This is really cool. Wow, that's a beautiful, beautiful fern. Huge thing. We have some begonias over here. Soil examples. That's pretty cool. Sphagnum moss, peat moss, silica sand. Interesting mixes here. Peat and perlite. 1 part peat, 1 part perlite, 1 part silica sand. Then we have the carnivorous plants. All different kinds here. Look how they have to sit in water. And there is information here on growing carnivorous plants. Here is a tropical pitcher plant. Pretty cool. I'm assuming this is also carnivorous plants over here. Looks like it. Perosia lingua compacta. Perosia lingua. Huge, huge fern there. These are epiphytic ferns. Wow, look at this one. I can only imagine you'd have to have a greenhouse to really do well with these ferns. I don't have good luck with them.
So these guys all together over some.
A dwarf fluffy ruffles. The lighting in here is just really not good at all. This is more like my ferns usually end up. Kind of crispy. That's a pretty thing, golden zebra. There's another golden zebra. That's kind of cool. Asplenium. Here we'll move over to the begonia row here. Little darling. Here's a begonia in a terrarium. And another. Wow, look at that. That is so cool. Kind of got spiky leaves. That is begonia melanobulata. That is really cool. Peridot. I asked the lady who runs the show every year. She was encouraging me to bring some entries, and I said, well, it's the Fern Society and exotic plant sale. I said, what do you consider an exotic plant? Because I don't grow ferns. She said, well, put simply, exotic plants are anything that aren't ferns. I said, oh, okay, well. I said, even my African violets, huh? She said, yes, definitely. I did not enter anything this year, though.
That's for here.
Look how cool that is. Okay. I am going to zip over to one of my very favorite categories of plants. Wow, that's a beautiful plant. I have to see what this one is. That's a philodendron Cellum. Philodendron. Wow, that's gorgeous. Very pretty. Here's Alocasia Jacqueline. And another philodendron. I'm not going to stop and show you every single staghorn fern, but let's take a quick look at the category here because there are a lot of them. A lot of them here. It must be a thing to mount them with some kind of celebrity or some sort of little decorative thing. That one's got spider webs and spiders. There's the Chrysler Building in New York. A couple more celebrity thingies here. Cone heads. I think I just prefer the plant without the extra embellishments, but this is kind of neat, this Easter Island theme. Zebras. And look at this one. That is just spectacular. Here's another entire row of Staghorn ferns. Wow, look at that. Platycerium elamarai. Well, I'm going to put the name here so you can see it. Look at that thing. That is a monster. Here's a more delicate species. That's very pretty. It just says Platycerium. It doesn't say what species that is, but I like that. Oh, here's one that's mixed with another type of fern. That's amazing. Here's my hand. Well, I've never seen this many staghorn ferns in one place. You'll only see it here at the International Fern Society annual show. This one has got a jade plant in its container. That's very interesting. My mother had a staghorn fern years ago. Grew it to a huge size. I think she gave it to my sister. And I don't know what happened to that plant. They really do look like stag's horns. Gotta admit, they're named right. And here we have the Division 30 Liliaceae, succulents, aloe, haworthia, and agave. These are kind of more up my alley of interest. Love the succulents. Oh, look at that with the cute little accent there, the little fake mushroom there and frogs. That's a pretty little arrangement. These are Lideburia, Socialis variegata. Lideburia, I hope I'm saying that right, Socialis. Here we have a Stenosirius Julianus crested. Got Crassula, the good old jade plant. Here's a nice agave. Very pretty. Monanthes polyphylla. Here's an aeonium. I have one similar to this, only really big. Another agave. Aeonium kiwi. And it's crested. Oh, how about that? That's very interesting. There's a euphorbia.
Look at this guy.
Here's another crest. Aeonium sunburst crest.
Wow, some of these, well, they put some mushrooms in as decoration.
That's a Fockea, F-O-C-K-E-A. There's a crested euphorbia. This is kind of a shrubby thing here. Brachychiton rupestris. Pachypodium. Adromiscus. Another Pachypodium. Strange plants, eh? Strange and weird. I like the little bitty leaves on this one. Pretty cool. This is Myrmec tuberosa. M-Y-R-M-E-C. There's a euphorbia. Pachypodium again. Another Pachypodium. Here's an interesting thing. Sansevieria starfish. Wow, look at that. That's very unusual. Also known as Sansevieria cylindrica. Pachypodium. Another Sansevieria gracilis. Interesting. Here we have our fairy gardens, dish gardens. Super cute. I'm going to have to take individual photos of these gardens because they're so sweet. It's a gloxinia of some kind, or syningia. Primulina. Oh, we're over to the Gesneriids now. Primulina. And that's it for the Gesneriids. Bilbergia. Neoregelia. So we're into the class of Bromeliads here. And here we have Tillandsia. Neoregelia. Aechmea, Acmea. There's a mini Neoregelia. There's a Dicea. That's a very interesting plant. It's called Tarzan. Another Dicea. Look at this. Isn't that cool? That's Hectea species. There's a Tillandsia. See the blooms coming up there? Another Neoregelia. That is a pretty neoregelia. I'm going to run through these. There's Acmea. Some of these are so cool. Here is a Rhipsalis upright growing in a pot. Very cool. It's even got a couple little flowers on it. And the person, I don't believe, knows the species because it just says Rhipsalis on the tag. Viresea, Viresea, getting ready to bloom there. Bilbergia, a couple of these. Here's an epidendrum or a reed orchid. Very pretty. Lots of very unusual plants. Maxillaria tenuifolia, I believe that's an orchid. You can see the little orchid blooms in there. Smells good too. Boy, I can smell it. It smells like coconut.
My goodness, that flower pretty. I never seen it before.
Okay, now we're going to head over to the hanging baskets. Here we have Hoya bella. It's got the little blooms on there. It's very pretty. Here we have Hoya latifolia. Hirosea astata. Here's a neoregelia growing in a hanging basket. Here is a Hoya publicalis. And it's got these beautiful blooms right now. Look at that. Lovely. Here's a big fern in the hanging section here. Gee whiz, that's huge. And we have our Tillandsia Spanish moss. Another couple of ferns here. You've really got to have space for a fern like this. Look how it spreads out. It's got to be 5 feet across. This looks like some sort of a Tillandsia. And now we come to my favorite category, the Rhipsalis. This is supposed to be Dissimilus. Look at the tiny little pot it's in. It's like in about a 6-inch clay pot. And the plant itself has got to be 7 feet long. It's all the way to the ground. And it's much taller than I am, and I'm 5 foot tall. Just beautiful. Here we have a Rhipsalis. This is actually rhombia, although it's marked Pachyptera, but it's not marked correctly. But you can see from the growth, it's Rhipsalis rhombia. It's a beautiful, beautiful specimen. And here we have a Nevus armandii. I believe it's most likely correctly marked. It's got the craters from previous blooms. It's got a rampant growth. So it's probably Nevus armandii. Looks very healthy. Growing away here. And here we have Pilocarpa. This is a beautiful specimen of Rhipsalis pilocarpa. We've got some of the fruit there, the little hairy fruit that it gets its name from. Very pretty. And one of my favorites, Rhipsalis clavata. Tiny little dish that it's growing in there. Got the little clavate ends. This is such a lush looking plant. I just love it. And this particular specimen is very nice and beautiful and healthy. And here we have Ewaldiana, Rhipsalis ewaldiana. It's a little bit on the leggy side, but that's kind of how this can grow. Step back so you can see the whole plant a little better. Here we've got another Hoya. I don't know which particular variety this is. It just says Hoya. But it's so pretty. I even like the leaves on this particular variety. Very pretty. And now we have Rhipsalis campos portuana. Really nice specimen. The berries look to be a combination of green and orange, kind of yellowish orange. Looks like they start off green and ripen to kind of a yellowish orange. Beautiful, beautiful specimen. Look at that. This is Rhipsalis paradoxa. Paradoxa is noted for its sort of chaining action. And there's two different subspecies. There's subspecies paradoxa and subspecies septentrionalis. And this is marked septentrionalis. And they're similar. The subspecies paradoxa has a lot tighter chaining, but I'm sure there can be probably hybrids between the two different varieties. This is sort of an intermediate form. It doesn't have really tight chaining, but it doesn't have very loose chaining either. And septentrionalis usually has, I believe, yellow flowers, so when this blooms, it would be a better indicator of the subspecies status. But it's a gorgeous Rhipsalis paradoxa. Very healthy, all the way to the ground. It's got to be 5.5 feet long. Here we have a micrantha. The clades are sort of flat on this subspecies, and I'm not up on my subspecies of micrantha. I think this is what used to be called tonduzi. I'll have to do a little research on it. It's almost all got this flat growth. It doesn't have any triangular that I can see. It's a very beautiful micrantha. Look at that. Another 5-foot long plant. Gotta have the chair there to hold that one up, apparently. Here's more Spanish moss. Here's another beautiful fern. More Spanish moss. Fern. Staghorn in a hanging basket. Look at this rabbit's foot, they used to call them. That's a Davila, is the genus. Look at all the little foot-looking things, furry feet. I've tried to grow this in the past and I haven't had any luck. And this is a beautiful specimen. Look at this. Huge. Huge, huge, huge. Here's another grand staghorn fern. Here's another one of these Davila with the hairy, leggy segments there, the stems from which the growth occurs. And here's an interesting Ceropegia sandersoni. Take a look at that. Isn't that interesting? I don't know if that's all the way open. Doesn't look like it's open at all. Getting ready to do something. I'm not sure if that's going to open more than that. I would assume that it would have to. Very interesting plant. Here is another Hoya, Hoya carnosa. Some beautiful blooms on there. It has a scent, but I wouldn't call it pleasant. It smells kind of musty. Here we have the last row of ferns here. I'm going to just kind of go past pretty quickly. Gosh, that's a beautiful one. Look at the leaves. They're really gorgeous. Asplenium australis. Asplenium hurricane. I think that's the one that I saw outside for sale that I liked so much. Maybe I'll have to go get one. Here's another asplenium. Here's a huge asplenium. So pretty. These plants are so architectural and so sculptural looking. Here's another hurricane variety. I like it. And last but not least, Asplenium antiquum Victoria. Very beautiful. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and we will talk to you all again next time. Bye-bye.